Want to ring the bell?
All right. Ding, ding.
Frank Gordon. Funky. Welcome to a special episode of Frank Gordon restates the obvious. Now, this is the Frank Gordon show. I've been doing this for a dozen years now, and I haven't come up with a better name for it than that. It seems kind of pretentious to call it the Frank Gordon show, but I am Frank Gordon. It is my show, so what the heck. Now, the only thing we're talking about in this show is the Ohio State-Michigan game. Now, as an Ohio State guy, I have a decided slant on this. But I think I'm objective enough to understand what can happen and what should happen. Now, having said that, let's get into this rivalry. Now, you can throw the records out the window. Now, that's a cliche. I understand that, but it's true. It really doesn't matter what they've done this season. It really doesn't matter what they've done in the past. All that's nice fodder for us. But once they step on the lines, it changes. You need only go back to the Chimanga Biaka Batuka game and go, well, we were supposed to win that one and it didn't happen. And Biaka Batuka ran all over us. Okay, that's basically the mindset of the entire thing. You can go back to 1827 and Dateline 1922. It doesn't make a difference. You can say it does. You can believe it does. It doesn't. Now, it's nice that there's a 6-game winning streak for Ohio State. I believe that's what it is. Is being played at Ohio State. That's great. The weather is what it trust me, it doesn't make a difference. Michigan could be 2-10. Ohio State could be undefeated. It doesn't make a darn bit of difference. Throw all that crap out the window. Again, it's good for us to be able to say that, to hang our hat on. We've done this, we've done that, we're doing great. Don't buy it. Okay? Once they step on the field, here's what makes it happen. Somebody, because it is such an emotional game, and you have emotional coaches as well, somebody makes a great play, and that momentum feeds. Somebody makes a bad play, even if it's a false start, and doubt starts to creep in. Now, how you recover from that, or how you keep an even keel from that, that's important. But it is such an emotional game. It really is, wow, we've got confidence. Now, this is a question I ask people all the time, and I don't get a good answer. If you are a high-caliber athlete, how can you not have confidence? I don't understand that. I was not a high-caliber athlete. I had confidence all the time, probably more confidence than I should have had. I'm making this shot. I'm hitting this pitch. I'm knocking this guy down. I believe me, I've done it before. I know I can do it again. Doubt does not creep in if you've done it before. Now, again, that's me. Maybe that's part of not being a high-caliber athlete. I don't know. But if you tell me I've got an open 12-foot jumper, I've made it before, I'm not going, oh, no, I'm not sure. It's going down. Okay, that's the way I see it. If I miss 17, 18th one is going in. I'm not too concerned about it. Okay, that's the way I see it. But that's just me. Again, maybe there's more to this than meets the eye. I don't know. That being said, this is bigger than just the game, bigger than what's going on in the field. So all that hype does have something to do with, believe me, it does, because both teams have been hearing it since they committed to their respective schools. And if they are from Michigan or from Ohio, or even if they're an Ohio guy playing in Michigan or a Michigan guy playing in Ohio, they've been hearing this their entire lives. It is bigger than just them. So that part does hold true. The records and all that, no, I don't buy into that. But the fact that this game is bigger than it is. Anything they've come across before, it's bigger than that. Your high school rivalries, doesn't matter. You know, any professional rivalries you'll have in the future, doesn't matter. This is the game, okay? This is how important it is to us, the fans, let alone the players. I was an undergrad at Ohio State, year 11 or 12 or whatever it was. And we played basketball on a daily basis about at the rec centers. And, you know, one fall, we start playing, and, you know, there's a new crop of people come in, you know, freshmen come in, and this people that haven't played before. You know, okay, let's size these people up. Now, we're the old guard there. We know what's going on. We're running this show, right? This guy walks in wearing a Michigan shirt. That's odd. Maybe he's lost. Oh, let's play a couple games and see if we can help him find himself. And that was the most physical game we played in quite some time. One time, the guy's, got cracked coming off a screen, and he's lying on the ground. I look around, I was like, somebody hit him pretty good. My buddy said, that was you. It's like, oh, really? Oops. We tried to make him a jump shooter that day. Going to the basket wasn't a good idea for him. Now, again, becomes one of our friends. He was in med school at Ohio State, and he was undergrad at Michigan, and I think he learned not to wear that shirt again. But that's how you see that. Growing up, I'm a fan of the X-Men. Great. I did X-Men, the comic books, the whole thing, Stan Lee and all that stuff. Except for one character that everyone else liked, I didn't like. Wolverine. Give me Cyclops, give me whatever. Don't make a feature with Wolverine. I don't want to see that guy. I don't care if he's got adamantium claws. Wolverine, no. That's how deep it is, okay? So saying that, it's emotional. You have two emotional coaches. You have an emotional staff. You have emotional players. You have emotional fans, parents, everything. So a mistake begets more mistakes. A great play brings more great plays. It just, you build that momentum. You build that want to, that need to, that we're getting the job done. Or, oh no, it's starting to slip away. And you've seen it happen before. Again, going back to that Tim Biakabatuka game. Couldn't stop him. Why not? It kept going. The momentum just kept going and going and going. And you're like, oh my goodness. How did that? The Desmond Howard game. Okay, and I'm saying all the things, the positive things for the Michigan people, because I'm not going to say much positive about it later. But those are the things, that momentum builds and builds, and you're like, I can't. How do we? And you're deflated. And as you get deflated, more so than you are in a normal game, and that lack of confidence or that force of confidence is what makes this game. So I'm going to give you the one thing that's the key to this game, the one player that's the key. Now, normally, I have a slew of statistics, analysis that I've done, all kinds of stuff, 137 seconds of homework I've done, all this fun stuff that I can go point to A, B, C, and D, why this is going to happen. This is what we're going to do. This is what they're going to do. This is how they're going to counteract it. This is what blah, 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 blah. Their offense against their defense, blah, blah, blah. And then on snow and the rain and all, it doesn't matter in this game. It truly doesn't matter in this game. Here's the one thing that you need to look for. So get out your Sharpie. Get ready to write this down. This is the important thing. When you're watching this game on TV, here's what you need to look for. It all boils down to number 59 on the Ohio State team, Isaiah Prince. All boils down to him. If he's able to do his job at right tackle by himself, if he's able to block his man and keep him off Dwayne Haskins' back or front or side or whatever, that allows Haskins to light it up. Now, Ohio State doesn't have that A-plus Michael Thomas, David Boston receiver out there. No, we're not going to say that. But they've got a lot of A-minus, B-plus guys that are more your DeVere Posey kind of, we're pretty good guys out there. And there's a slew of them. There's like 8 or 9 of them. So whoever is the hot hands being important here because sometimes they have some drops. Whoever has the hot hands, if they're able to get into their routes and get some separation, Haskins will find him if he's not running for his life. That's important. Also, because that opens up the game for Dobbins and Weber to be able to run the ball. Because if Michigan can contain the passing game, they're not going to be too worried about the running. If they can do it with a standard package, then they can stop the run. Because Ohio State has to be able to have that balance, but also has to have the fear of the passing game in order to be able to run the ball, which is different than what it's been in the past. So, and the reason why I'm talking about Ohio State so much about this is because it doesn't really matter what Michigan does. I believe Ohio State is, not just because I'm an Ohio State guy, but I believe Ohio State can win a shootout And if Haskins has time to throw the ball, it really doesn't matter as much what the Ohio State defense does, which is kind of suspect right now. But they will be able to win a shootout. I don't think Michigan has enough firepower to outscore them if Ohio State can score the ball. Flip side of that is, if it becomes a defensive struggle, it won't be a defensive struggle. Ohio State cannot win a defensive ball game. That's not going to happen. So if Michigan can keep Ohio State down, they win by maybe 2 touchdowns. Because if Ohio State can't score, Michigan will be able to score enough that they'll be able to get some momentum and get a lead. So, again, it comes down to number 59, Isaiah Prince. If you're seeing his face mask as he's looking back at his quarterback and someone's hitting him in the face, trouble. If you see 59 on his back and he's road grading somebody, or he's at least in pass protection and the guy can't get around him and Haskins has time to throw the ball, positive. And if he has time to throw the ball, that dude can throw the ball. So that's the key right there. All the other stuff is just window dressing. You can talk about Michigan's offense, Michigan's defense, defensive line, linebackers, special teams. All that really doesn't make a difference. The key is going to come down, and that's a lot of pressure to put on one guy. Don't get me wrong. But it's going to come down to that one guy. If he's able to do his job without help, because let's face it, with help, then someone else isn't able to do their job. If he's able to contain the other side of the line by himself, position to position, if he's able to do his job, because if you've noticed, if you watch enough Ohio State games, that's when they've been in trouble. When the other defensive end or linebackers or whoever are going past him, and Haskins steps back and goes, oh, crap, and is throwing off his back foot. He doesn't throw off his back foot well. He doesn't throw under pressure well. No, not many people do, but he doesn't do it well right now. Still, he's redshirt sophomore, so what do you expect? But if that's what it comes down to, trouble. Okay, now, prediction time. I normally don't make these this way. I don't make spread picks because I never get them right. I usually give you reasons why. That's my only reason. I have to believe that Isaiah Prince finds it in himself. Again, get some confidence. They hit some big plays early. If that happens, I'm not going to say it's a rout, but it's going to be Ohio State big. Now, that's the if. The other side is if they cannot do that, it's going to be Michigan in a rout at the shoot. And several thousand people will not talk to me after I say that, but I believe that's the truth. If Ohio State cannot protect and not control that side of the line with Isaiah Prince, it's over. It's over, and it's not even close. Michigan is good enough that they'll be able to score often enough, because Ohio State is bad enough on defense, that it's going to be over. It's going to be ugly, and Buckeye Nation's going to be like, wow. Now, here's the one reason why this is the matchup we're looking at, or one of the reasons why this is the matchup we're looking at. The importance of this game for any number of reasons, but this one in particular. All the other stuff that's going on in the other conferences doesn't matter. It's all leading up to this. Alabama isn't going to lose. Even if they do lose, they're still in the college football playoffs. Clemson isn't going to lose. Even if they do lose, they're in. Notre Dame isn't going to lose. If they lose, they may be out, but they're not going to lose to USC. Okay. Now, it could happen, but it's not. So those are 3 teams in. 1, 2, 3. 3 teams in. With, I think, not much of a doubt, not much of a problem having it happen. It's going to be that way. So now for anyone else to get in, the winner of this game has to win by the smallest of margins and then lose to Northwestern. Could that happen? Well, anything can happen. But Northwestern's not getting in with their record and their reputation. A 2-loss Ohio State 2-loss Michigan team isn't getting in. So that opens it up for the Big 12. You tell me, Is it West Virginia? Is it Oklahoma? I haven't had a chance to see that game or see the scores yet. As I'm doing this, it's still being played, so I don't know. The winner of the Snow Apple Bowl, Washington State. Again, I'm not going to know what's happening there until after this has been done. I don't know. Is it Central Florida? This is the chance Central Florida may have if all the dominoes fall in place, but this game has to happen first. Is it another SEC team? Depends on what happens with Auburn, Alabama, and this and Georgia and all that, blah, 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 blah. Who knows? If everyone else loses, the winner of this winner of this game that loses Northwestern still might get in. Got it. But it's not going to look good for anybody else if there's a 2-loss Big Ten team, if there's a 1-loss team out there someplace else. It's a possibility for someone else to get in, but this game has to happen in a negative way. I mean, basically, both teams have to look like crap and then lose to Northwestern. If they look good, if it's a photogenic game, and they look good even though they win or lose or whatever to Northwestern, they still might get in. But I think they have to beat Northwestern in the championship game to get back in, whether it's good or bad, right or wrong. So there is that part of it. And then there's also this resurgence of Michigan. Are they back? I know we were saying at the beginning of the season. Now, I'll preface this by saying, as an Ohio State fan, this is as good as it gets almost. You would rather have Michigan be undefeated going into this game and then knock them off the perch. A 2-Michigan victory team, it doesn't feel as good as beating them when they think they're going to be good. And the flip side of that is the same for Michigan beating Ohio State. So both with 1 loss, both with something to prove. Again, Michigan coming off of a lackluster beginning of the season, and Ohio State trying to recover from that Purdue fiasco. They both have something to prove because, let's face it, the rest of the Big Ten hasn't been all that noteworthy. And having played the rest of the Big Ten that they've played, it's like, so you beat, so-and-so, such, no big deal. So each team needs this scalp on their resume. So for Michigan, it's, are we back? Are we relevant? Can we sustain? It helps in recruiting. It helps in all the language after now. Are they back in being the big brother and spanking around Michigan State? There's a lot that goes into this, and a lot of confidence, and a lot rides on this for Michigan. Ohio State, it's status quo. Okay, we retooled. We went from the running quarterback to the passing quarterback, and we're still there. We've had a lull for the last few weeks, but we're still there. It's important to Urban Meyer as well, because Urban Meyer, a lot of speculation from the suspension to the way he's looked on the sidelines, whether it's health or whatever. There's a lot of speculation that this could be Urban Meyer's last year. Who knows? Who knows? And I don't know that it's up to us to speculate on that, but it's easier to go out on a win over Michigan and getting a berth in the college football playoffs than it is to go out and getting spanked by Michigan. Your legacy gets tarnished, and what you've accomplished, and the voices. Now, granted, we're Urban renewal. We want Urban, but if Urban gets spanked by Michigan, it'd be easier to let him go, don't you think? Ohio State Nation is very fickle. And no, we're not going to go get Luke fickle, but we're very fickle. We love our guy when they're winning. We don't love our guy as much when they're not. Right or wrong, good or bad, that's the way it is. It's kind of sad that that's the way it is, but that's the way it is. So we'll see how this works out. Again, I think the key is the right tackle. I think it doesn't matter how Michigan plays because they can play however they need to play, and they can win the game if Ohio State lets them in the game. But if that lights out, oh my goodness, Ohio State offense is there, it's going to be tough for Michigan to keep score with them, or to keep pace with them. But if that Ohio State lights out offense isn't there, Michigan in a walk. Sorry to say. Okay, so there we have it. The special edition of the Frank Gordon Show. He restates the obvious, but however you want to call it. Now, to give you an idea of what's going on, oh, by the way, give you all the fun stuff. Twitter, @1USN. @1USN, One Ultimate Sports Network, @1USN. Facebook, all the USN pages, but we'll stick with One USN America right now. There are a lot of Facebook pages out there for the Ultimate Sports Network. This will be up on YouTube. I believe we still have on iTunes going with the audio, so I don't know if I'm going to post this as audio or not. Now that we've gone into fitting my big head on the screen, audio stuff is starting to fade away a little bit, but we'll get back into that. It's interesting to find us and how people find us now. It's strange. We've witnessed this before, so it shouldn't be that disconcerting or weird to us, but it is because it's just hard to imagine. Again, I know me. I know what goes on in this head, and I know what comes out of this mouth, and I find it hard to believe that people that I don't believe speak English listen to what I have to say. We're big in foreign countries, in Indochina and Sweden, and don't ask me why. People in Sweden, please contact me and go, we like you because, I don't know, it looks like your eyes aren't open and you're happy. I don't understand that. But that's the way people find us. So you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all these fun things. It's a blast doing this. Again, I will do a segment one day soon explaining why I have been doing this that much recently. Again, you can kind of hear my voice kind of starting to go now, and there's a reason for that. But I'm going to get up in the morning, watch the game, have a good time, maybe have an adult beverage or 9 and enjoy myself, and then we'll see what happens from there. So again, this is Frank Gordon on Ultimate Sports Network. The key again is looking at number 59. It's going to be a great game regardless because it's a thing. It's a happening. So hopefully it doesn't get to the point where you want to turn the game off in the second quarter, but that may be it. We're going to come back. We'll probably do a recap of things on Sunday evening or at least Monday morning, early Monday morning quarterback, and go from there. Now, also, we're going to get in a lot more stuff. We've got a lot of guests lined up, a lot of guests planned, a lot of things we're working with. We've got a charitable event that we're producing for the Arthritis Foundation. If you heard me sit down, you hear stuff starting to creak. It's a bowl-a-thon, and we'll get you information on how to get involved in that. It's in conjunction with the Arthritis Foundation's, I want to call it Pledge Month. That's the best way of putting it, in May of 2019. And we'll show you how to get involved with that. Basically, just bowl 3 games, get some pledges from people, go out and bowl, have a good time, collect the money, or actually, you don't have to collect the money. It goes straight to the Arthritis Foundation website, and they send the money directly to them. So I don't touch it. Ultimate Sports Network doesn't touch it. It goes straight to Arthritis Foundation. So that's a good thing. Good cause, good time. We'll show you how to get involved in that as we progress through the rest of this year and start the next year. We've got college hoops coming on, or actually all the holiday terms have started. We're going to try and cover some of that. We've got some boxing happening. We're going to try and get into the Tiger Phil thing. I didn't get a chance to see it live. I was busy, but I'm sure I'll watch the remaining the 18 extra holes or however many they played and get a chance to see that. A ton of stuff. The baseball winter meetings will be here in Las Vegas in 2 weeks, I believe, 3 weeks, the second week of December. So we're going to see if we can track down some people there. The things we can legally get into and maybe the things we can't legally get into, we'll kind of TMZ our way around and talk to some people that we probably shouldn't talk to and get an idea if we can find, where Vegas' own Bryce Harper is going to end up. I don't know if we're going to be scoop worthy during that week, but we'll talk to a lot of people. We'll see what's going on. So we've got a lot going on here. Again, the voice is coming back. We're getting back into doing the broadcasting again. We've worked a lot on the business in the last year, but we're going to get some more of this kind of stuff. So I've rambled on long enough, so I appreciate you taking the time to listen to me. Normally I would say go Bucks. I'm going to be cool about that, though. I'll watch the game, enjoy the game, and thanks again. We really enjoyed doing this, the behind-the-scenes people and all that, and we have a blast. So thanks and enjoy yourself.